What's up, everybody? And welcome back to another Paraverse podcast. I love that song. Every time it gets me, I'm just back here just bouncing, having a good old time. You listen to that all night long. How's everybody doing tonight? We are joined tonight with finally, and I say finally because he knows, Michael Koff and Kell Ridley. Welcome, guys. Welcome.
Hello.
So guys, how are you doing today?
Michael?
Yeah, doing good. And to quote you, Matt, I put on the description for my YouTube channel and Paranormal Verse channel, finally on the show.
Well, for those of you who don't know, we've been trying to get this to happen for a while now. But Michael's pretty important. I would think Kell would agree. He's very busy, very busy.
Yeah,
he's
very busy man.
I think you're worse than me with podcasts, brother.
Yeah, I only have 3, but we just all seem to converge when everybody wants to say, "Hey, come on!" And it's like, I already got shows.
Oh, so guys, you know the drill. So tonight we're going to be talking. We're going to find out a little bit more about these two, but also who the hell knows? Because I don't script anything. We don't script anything. We're just going to see what happens. So that is always pretty interesting content. Backstage was a warm up. I'll just put it that way. We were talking as usual, and we're like, I just looked at the time. I'm going, oh shit, we got to start. Okay, that always happens. So first of all, and we'll go ladies first, of course. Kell, tell us a little bit about yourself. Oh, Michael, okay. I think. Wait a minute.
You did say ladies first, didn't you?
There's a conspiracy here.
Ouch!
I smell a conspiracy. I like that. It's not actually Michael. It's Michelle, right? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm identifying as Michael today.
Okay. Well, you got the right shirt on. You got a Navy shirt on, so I give props for that one.
Yeah, on the back is the pirate ship, so the pirate hunter.
Ooh, I like that. Being a Navy man, I just love that. I saw the fouled anchor, and I'm like,
Oh yeah,
need to get one. Oh,
he's showing his bum.
Tries for the ship, gets the butt.
Did I?
No, we got it.
Okay. I'm like, I couldn't see. I was doing the best I could.
It was like a 50-50, but definitely awesome. All right. So, Kell, tell us a little bit about yourself, first of all. We'll start with you.
God, what do you want to know?
Whatever you want to tell. I don't have the scripted.
God, I've been in the paranormal since I can remember. I was one of them. We had kids at school who was obsessed by it. I used to see things and apparently talk to things that wasn't there. Had a few experiences when I was a kid. So as I grew up, I joined a few paranormal teams, and now I have my own podcast. But other than that, I've spent 20 years of my life working in the security industry, being a bouncer. So I got to work in some really haunted locations, like pubs and stuff like that, for some reason. The weird reason is every time we used to go to the women's toilets, we used to get told it was haunted. Don't know why. It was never the men's, always the women's. So
I think Bobby Mackey's, if Raymond Newsom, if he's in the audience, he's a very frequent of that place. I think it's the same way. The women's restroom was haunted. I don't know why.
No idea. It's never the men's for some reason. I just think it's more like male ghosts maybe want to perv on the females or something. I don't know.
Possible. I mean, we were talking a little bit about that backstage, so you never know.
Exactly.
Which actually, Cece, by the way, Cece's nice seeing you again. Cece, you and her, let's just say, are somewhat in the same field as far as vocational. But Kell, let's start off with, in case people don't know who you are, where are you from? We love that accent, by the way.
I'm from the northeast of England, which technically makes us a Geordie. So I've got a bit of a weird accent. A lot of people think it's kind of Scottish, but we're not. We've got our own dialect, and every time I do podcasts, I have to slow my accent down a lot, or else nobody would understand us.
You know, at least I don't know if you guys have met him yet. I'm sure some of you have. Scott Matheson,
Yeah, I know Scott.
Paranormal History. I
Yeah.
swear that man, when I first met him, I needed captions. I needed the words to understand. And from what I understood, I just had him on the show, and I love him like a brother.
Yeah.
I, out of practice, I can understand him, but the captions apparently do not. They were not agreeing with Scott the last time that I hung out.
No, the captions are more hilarious sometimes.
Yeah, we've had a few dealings with captions, haven't we, Michael, in the past? And I don't have a clue what I'm saying.
I think I said during the show, "Good luck, Facebook and YouTube," for the captions with Scott. I was like, "Good luck." All right, Michael, brother, a little bit about you.
So, as you said, my name's Michael. I'm from Texas. So don't have an accent like Kell. Sorry to disappoint everyone.
It's
well, you have your own accent to me.
See, and that's the thing. I was going to say, I can hear a little bit of the Southern drawl with you. But people say I have one, and I'm just like, I have a scent, but not an accent. But
yeah, I've been in the paranormal pretty much all my life and just never realized it was a thing until about 5 years ago when a team asked me to investigate with them, and I started and got hooked. And then Stephen Woodard of Paranormal United Network asked me twice to do a podcast.
Big
and I finally bit and did it. And Kell and I, the funny thing about our show was I was watching her on Closing the Gap with Steven, and I was like, why does everyone say they can't understand you? I can understand you. And she's like, will you co-host then with me on the show? Because I was like, I could understand her.
So you guys met through our big Papa Pun, Stephen Woodard.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So for those who don't know, and this is where obviously the name of the show came from, they have a show called Paranormal VS. I couldn't. The pun was just. I'm a fan of dad jokes, and I'm a sucker for them. So the title of this show, it just made itself. So where did that come from? Where did that name come from?
Well, I always blamed Michael for it coming up with it, but he says it was me. I can't remember.
It was a collaboration. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that. It was a collaboration. Well, it was basically something to do with ghosts versus cryptids, but like from the UK side of it and the American side of it. So that's sort of where it came from.
Okay, cool. That's it's funny, and I've on my shows, whether it's this one or many others, I've had people from all over the world, and there is a huge difference in the UK and the American side of it. And I mean, even in Canada, where Meester's from, even he does things different. Well, I mean, he's Canadian, so I don't hold it against him. I love him. But what is the main difference then that you guys have seen, and the difference between America and the UK?
Michael, ladies first.
So the difference would say I've seen is the UK is more in tune with the history of the land, and so they bring that into the investigations more. And I think in that aspect, they're more accepting than we are of the paranormal, because we're just now being able, as I'm sure you're aware, Matt, being able to say in public we're paranormal investigators without having to worry about someone calling for a straitjacket.
Well, see, here's the thing. I've been in this field 18 years, and as we stated, backstage, I just don't care. As soon as I, started my team, me personally, I didn't give a shit. I was like, I wear my merch around. I mean, heck, I even have a windbreaker on my merch store now that says I'm paranormal, not normal. It to me, it's a great conversation starter. You get those people who do look down on you, but more than not, you get those who are like, "What are you doing? What is that? What does that mean?" And it's a great conversation starter.
Yeah.
I mean,
And the thing that Kell and I laugh about most too is in the UK, all their locations are within a day from where they are. Well, they don't have to travel far like we do.
Mhm.
that's cool. And that's one thing I've noticed is the amount of history they have. Like over in the UK, I mean, we here in the US, we've got a couple hundred years, I'd say, of history. You guys have a lot more.
Mhm.
I mean, you could probably just go right next door to your neighbors and just say, they've had anything. I'm sure they have.
Yeah.
So,
But in actuality, Matt, our history goes back beyond the 200 years because the 200 years would be the European history of America.
true.
Don't forget there were people already here and their history.
Fitting time of the year to be saying that. Yeah, you start calling it Thanksgiving instead of Thanksgiving, right?
I know.
We could start something.
Start a new hashtag.
Thanksgiving. You just go over to your neighbor's house and take their food. Yeah, that's mine now.
Seems like a British thing to do.
That's definitely an American thing.
Yeah, the British, they'll say acquired by. They don't say we took. They say we acquired.
See, we're more polite than that way, so if they were taking this, please, thank you.
Well, see, and there's another cultural difference. Like, I know Brian's probably still in the room. We have James from Hammertown Paranormal. He's also Canadian. They would take it and apologize for it. They would be like, "Yep, that's mine. Sorry about that." Uh-oh. Now, who's that, Kel? See, now we're going to be.
This is Squidge.
Aw, all black.
She's hiding in here because my dog's through there and she doesn't like my dog very much. So she's sort of like part living in the studio at the minute.
Aw, adorable. Hashtag don't investigate the States.
Yeah,
we all know that Brian doesn't like the States. Oh, no, sorry, the borders. Isn't that right, Michael?
The Border Patrol, yeah. I love listening to his stories because every time when he comes over, he has all of his equipment with him. He's got to explain it, and I would just love to be a fly on that wall. Just to listen to Brian try to explain the SV7 and everything else.
The cat balls.
I just get bored. I like things that are shiny. I don't know. So Kel, what about you? What is your biggest difference that you've seen from the UK to the US, like in the US side?
I mean, back in the day, we used to have like the SPR and stuff like that. The what's his name, Maurice Groves, and I think that's what his name is. My brain's just not with it today, so you'll have to excuse us.
You're fine.
But we sort of like, I don't know. I mean, you guys had God, my brain is not with it today. That couple, what they're called, Lorraine Warren, the Warrens. Sorry,
the Warrens.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like you've got like amazing people like that, and then we've got like obviously the people that was part of the SPR and stuff like that. So, but I mean, we didn't really have that many teams, I think, around until, well, from what I could gather, up until like the 1990s type of thing. So it just seemed to take off. But now it's getting to the point over in the UK where everybody's, well, not everybody, but most people seem to be in it for money. So they'll try and get a location tied to them so nobody else can use it, just so they can make money out of it. And that's what I don't like about it. I mean, I think that should be for the research purposes, not for to make money. I've never made a penny out of doing this, so but that's just my personal opinion.
I mean, I've said numerous times on my show and a couple others, I'm sure you guys have heard of this too. You know, we're in this field to spend money, not make it.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of our receipts can prove that. Now, one thing I I keep forgetting to ask my UK guests, and Kelly, you're the perfect guest for this question. Now here in the no, you'll like this. So here in the US, obviously, Ghost Hunters seems to be the catalyst to get the paranormal field going. Ever since that first came out and all the shows started coming out, paranormal teams were coming out of the woodwork. Is it the same way in the UK? Like once the show started, you started seeing more presence?
Yeah, and over here it was a show called Most Haunted. So once that started coming out, everybody in the uncle was obsessed with the paranormal. So I think that's the show that started it, and then you started getting the American shows coming over, like obviously Ghost Hunters, and then other one, what's his name? Him with the glasses. My brain, honestly, you have to excuse me. My brain's away with the fairies tonight.
I know what she's talking about.
Yeah,
that's the one I'm thinking of. That begins with a Z.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep, that's the one.
Sorry, it's out of reflex. I just, no. Anyway, take a twitch.
That shall not be named.
There you go. The Voldemort or the paranormal. There we go.
I understand a lot of people say he did do a lot to bring out awareness of the field. But after that point, I feel like, yeah, that's about all you can say.
I feel like he's like the black sheep. It's like we're aware of his presence, but nobody wants to admit it. It's like,
anyway. And he's one that he does like what Kells talks about is he goes, finds locations, buys them up, and then takes them over. And it's like, dude, you're kind of doing the opposite of what you should be doing in the paranormal field.
Yep.
Well, and I know firsthand the way he treats the locations themselves is just deplorable at best. I mean, that's putting it mildly. But yeah, again, he's one of those. No, I still have that challenge. I haven't heard anything back. That I can out investigate him anywhere, any place, anytime with just a flashlight. So I'm waiting for that. But anyway, so
I'm glad you're not holding your breath because you'd probably expire before you got your breath.
I think he's older than me, so he better hurry up. Anyway, I just imagine when he passes, he just goes to whatever gate he goes to, and they're like, "Oh, so you think you saw demons? Let me show you." He gets to meet him firsthand. That'd be fun.
That or better yet, go. Remember all those people that you locked into a room after instigating? Now it's your turn.
Well, that's
and
the
it's
case.
All at once, not a one day, another one the next day. We're giving them all at once.
I mean, I've been guilty of putting some newbies in some questionable situations, but nothing like that. Like, safety is an issue.
Yeah, I'm like, when I first saw the show and I saw them chaining the outside doors, I was like, I can't watch this. No. That's just bad, just waiting to happen.
All right, so we're gonna continue on talking about the paranormal. We'll get to your guys' show because I have some questions for that one too. And by the way, I get a lot of just random ideas, so if they're really like this, welcome to the show. So Michael, we're gonna go to you, brother. So you've obviously been investigating for a while now. What has been one of your laughing your ass off, pissing your pants experience? Like what has had you on the floor rolling?
You know, I have to admit, I don't think I've had one while investigating, but watching those TikTok videos when I was on your show, that was hilarious to see some people were trying to claim as paranormal. But as for me in the field, I would say, I'm not quite so sure I've had moments where I would say I was laughing hysterically, but I did have a moment where I got to laugh at my team that I started with because they thought they could scare me, and I ended up scaring them, and it was my ex-girlfriend at the time was with us, and she goes, are you guys seriously trying to scare him? Because if you are totally wasting your night. And they're like, oh no, we'll get him. Nope.
Been there. I've gone to a couple of haunted houses, like the attractions and stuff, and I just love walking over to the dark corners, and you see the silhouette of one of the actors, and you just start talking to him. How long have you been doing this? And they don't answer. It's like, dude, I see you right there. What? Come on, answer me, talk to me. Come on. Go away. No, not till you answer my question. Damn it. I see you. Oh.
Yeah. My first experience going through a haunted house was funny because it was a friend's who I paranormal investigated her location, and she had a haunted house. And so I came and thought, let's see what it's like and give it a whirl. And everybody was just standing. And I was like, nobody's trying to scare me. And then, so the owner decides, or the caretaker, I should say, but the owner of the haunted house decides she's going to crawl, tug on my pant leg. And I'm like, I freeze where I'm standing because in my mind, I'm going, okay, I know this place is haunted. Was that a spirit? Or did somebody just grab me and tug on my pant leg? And I'm like, please let it be one or the other, not both. And let it be one that I could easily figure out. But then I got through the end, and the owner and the caretaker goes, well, I told them not to scare you because you're a paranormal investigator. I was like, oh, okay. That explains it.
That's no fun. So somebody grabs my leg. I'm gonna be kicking. I don't know about you, Kell, but someone grabs a hold of my leg, I'm kicking.
Yeah, I've done something like that anyway. So,
what about you then? Oh, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
I was gonna say the fun thing that came out of it though is for the past 3 years I do volunteer acting with her in the haunted house, and we are a touch haunted house. They call them interactive.
Yep.
And we're one of the only ones in the U.S. And so it's like, it's really fun when you get people that come up and they're like, and you go, here's the rules. You can't touch anyone. And they're like, okay, but you'll be touched. And they go, that's not fair. I'm like, welcome to a haunted house, dude. Whoever said they're fair.
See, if you have to sign a waiver to go into some of these places, like I know some of them do, I'd turn around and be like, you better make sure every one of those guys are signing it too. Because someone jumps out of nowhere looking like they're going to threaten me. My military instinct is going to kick in and I'm going to start swinging. I won't mean it, but it's just like someone jumps out, they get a left hook to the face. Not my fault.
Yeah. Been there, done that.
Yeah.
So what about you, Kell? Have you had any like laugh your ass off moments in the field?
There's been quite a few where I've face planted the floor, and I've had shows named like that I've been on called Paranormal Face Plant. But apart from that, same what you were just talking about there. There's a place in Blackpool, in the northwest of England, and then there's Madame Tussauds, the waxworks there, and underneath they've got the horror section. And I was in there once, and some guy, obviously that worked there, decided to put his arm out and grab us, and he got punched in the face. So, yeah, that was quite amusing. But, yeah, apart from the time that I basically heard banging, I was in a big hangar at a place called Nelson in Sunderland. It houses World War II, World War One, like artifacts, tanks, jets, everything that you can think of, not from World War One, but like obviously from all sorts of wars and stuff like that. So obviously people's died in them, so they're haunted. So I was in one of these hangars at the back, and there was apparently a prisoner of war that was kept there during, I can't remember, World War II, I think it might have been. And so I was like asking out for him to make himself known if he can bang. And then all of a sudden from the back of the hangar came these 3 big, massive bangs. So I ran out the door, face planted, tripped over the ledge, like the lip of the door, face planted the floor. And then I felt so embarrassed, picked myself up, dusted myself down. And I thought, right, okay, nobody's around, nobody's seen that. Then I forgot I had a head cam on. So my team leader, a couple of weeks later, decided to phone us up and ask us if I was okay. I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. He was like, well, you must have hurt yourself when you were running out the hangar. And I'm like, no, I don't know what you're on about. It's like, Kell, we got on camera, you had a head cam on. So I had a good laugh about that. Like typical me.
Been there. I actually remember this one investigation. I think it was a home investigation. On the phones you have the either front facing camera or back facing camera. I had the front facing on, wasn't paying attention. I was recording all the evidence, and all you could see was my face. It was just right here, just like asking questions, and it was nasty. It was worse than Blair Witch movie.
I have a moment like that, Matt, where I was filming with my phone, and I have a lot of great evidence of the ceiling where I thought I was catching everything that was happening on the ground where things were moving, and I was like thinking, oh, I got the holy grail of paranormal, and it's on the ceiling.
Yep. I remember starting out we're trained now to where obviously if you have a camera in front of you, like one of these guys, you got this in front of you and something happens to your right or left, you turn with it. I couldn't tell you how many times when I first started, I see something, I just go, oh, you guys should be seeing this. This is great. And then all of a sudden the camera goes straight down. And I go to look back and it's like, okay, so this is about that time. Yeah, I saw that. That's my foot. Shit. Okay.
Typical.
Or even better was I was with a friend and we were doing the live, and I forgot that she was recording the live. And so I started spinning her on the dance floor 3 times. And everyone's like, turn off the camera. Turn off the camera. You're making us sick. And we're like, what are you talking about? We watch the footage and you literally see everyone spinning. And we're like, oh, I'm so sorry, everybody. We forgot.
I said this especially for like the Global Ghost Hunt. I'm so glad I don't have like a VR setup down here watching some of these lives. I mean, they're all great. Don't get me wrong. They're great investigations. But let's be honest. If you do a virtual investigation in VR, you will get sick. If you're not motion sick, you will be, because some of these teams are great and they're nice and stable, but then there's some that are just, oh, let's see who they can make sick today. And they just, So, and of course, we're having fun. Brian wants to be serious here. No. I'm joking. So Brian wants to know, for you guys, if you have any advice for someone starting in the field, what would it be?
Don't do it.
Save money.
Run the other way.
Run for the hills.
Yeah. No, basically just don't buy all the gadgets that everybody tells you to buy. Stick with your video camera, pen, paper, whatever. You don't need all that bump just to obviously do it. Save yourself some money, like Michael said.
There you go.
And see, this is why Kel and I work great, because where she says run for the hills, I'd be like, get a sugar mama or a sugar daddy, because then you can get the equipment and get into locations too.
Yep.
But in all seriousness, I would say my advice would be trust your instincts, trust the people you're with. And if you start to feel something's off, don't hesitate to go and find another team and, just keep going. But when you feel like you need a break, take a break.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I honestly, I agree with both of you. Kell, you're 100% right. You don't need to go out and spend thousands of dollars, especially right away.
Yeah.
Especially right away. Like phones nowadays, they have basically everything you need. You just need an extra flashlight.
Mhm.
That's it, and you can do this.
Exactly.
Start saving up, buy little purchases here and there, and work your way up. And there's some piece of equipment, like for example, Mister here. For those of you who don't know, he's the self-proclaimed. Well, we'll call him that too. The SB7 Whisperer. SB7 for me, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't. We just don't mesh, or the
Right.
Ovilus and other things. It's just not the way I investigate. We all have our own style. Find your style,
Yeah.
and then go for it. We all investigate differently, and that's fine. Perfectly fine.
Yes.
And of course, it wouldn't be a podcast without Raymond Newsom. What's up, brother? And we'll ask that. Brian has another question, but Michael, it's for you. We're going to ask that right before break.
This is payback question.
I knew I heard this story.
What I've been sitting chuckling about.
I've heard that story. So before we ask that question, I do want to know, and this is something I haven't asked for a while. Have you guys, and let's just say last 15 years in the field, have you guys noticed a difference, good or bad? And if so, what is it?
I would say it's definitely, like I say, the greed and a lot of backbiting. People like bickering about other teams and stuff like that. It's just absolutely ridiculous.
Agree with that.
I would say I have noticed a lot of kind of two-sidedness to some people where they come out and you start out going great, everything, and then all of a sudden it flips on a switch and you're like, what just happened? And so drama, yeah, I'd just say the drama. You just can't escape it. And it's like, I don't even know why we even have drama in the field, because the field itself is such the way it is. It's like, yeah. And I kind of get, and Kell and I, this is the one thing we actually both agree on, is we both take in when someone says, I'm an expert of this, tend to tune them out and start walking the other way. And we're like, because there are no experts.
Huge
We're
red
firm
flag.
believers in that.
Oh, I will definitely agree with that one. That's a huge red flag. I think, though, for me, in the last 15 years, I mean, yeah, you guys are right. A lot of the drama, a lot of the backstabbing, a lot of greed has happened. And I think that comes with the territory because of all the shows. They see it and they want to do it, and which is fine. If it happens, great. But let's be honest, the chances of any of us being like that, few and far between. But the one thing I will say, go ahead, brother.
I was going to say is I do notice, though, some positives of, like, I know I came across the term para-unity, and a lot of people said that was a term from the beginning, and it's gotten seriously diminished over the years with all of the stuff. But I have noticed a lot of people who have been in from the beginning, so to speak, stepping up and trying to chip off some of that diminishing aspect and bringing the luster back to it and trying to bring it back. And so I want to give kudos and thanks to those that are doing that and helping us that are the new ones that are, not aware of all the back history, and just use the term. And it's like, yeah, this is how we're using it. This is what it is. It's not whatever bad connotations with it is done and gone. That's over. Let it go. We're now starting the new term. It's the same term, but we're starting anew. And let's just make it shine.
Yep, we are rebuilding. We are rebuilding that term. And you know what's, and that was actually what I've noticed. That's my big difference. When I first started in this field, there was really nobody to help me. I just kind of threw everything against the wall, and whatever stuck, great. Whatever didn't, okay, well, try it again. But the one thing I have noticed, and you two are a prime example of this, is the networking.
Mhm.
The networking has gotten so much better. I mean,
Yeah.
there's drama, obviously, but to me, para-unity isn't a thing. It's not like you can just say this is para-unity. To me, it's more like I don't want to call it this, but it's like a religious belief. It's a belief system. It's you breathe it, you live it, you practice it, you preach it, and it's all around. It's not a thing. Working with everybody and anybody, no matter their differences or whatever they believe, cool. I mean, there's people who use Ouija boards. I am not a fan. I know how to use one. I respect it. I don't use it. That's just me. But I'm not going to sit there and bash somebody because they use it. It's going to take all of us to figure out what's actually going on.
Yeah.
And I will say, the networking has gotten a lot better. And you're starting to really find new people and new friends and new networks and new systems for these teams. Like teams can come on now, go to like Parapost or Paralinks and see us talking about para-unity, and they can reach out and say, hey, I'm just starting a team. What advice do you have? Or can you help me out? Or I'm just starting a podcast. Can I promote it out? It's stuff like that to me, 18 years ago would have been a hell of an asset. And we would all have a lot more ease getting into this field.
Yeah. And to go on top of that, even a step further, Matt, is like my show, for example, the energy that surrounds us. I have local teams that I may not have ever met on. And I have teams in different states coming on or different countries. And we try to do the same thing in Paranormal Versus of bringing different community people into the field and showing that paranormal is not just going and investigating a haunted location or talking to a spirit. There is so much more in the paranormal that's what I kind of feel like really is at the heart of Paranormal Versus is we're saying, hey, look, we're a couple of paranormal investigators, but UFOs are paranormal, people. It's classified under paranormal.
Mm-hmm.
We've had guests about UFOs. We've had guests about equipment. We've had guests about different topics. And that's where I think we're branching out and doing our part is to bring awareness that paranormal is not one thing.
Yeah.
That it is a bunch of things. And that's where I think people are now starting to come to our shows and appreciate is because, like, I had somebody ask me about a cryptid on a show, never heard of. I went, researched it, did a video about it. I've now had a guest on my show about the cryptid. And so it's like I think they feel like they have a voice now and here.
See, to me, and it all stems back to the definition. What is the definition of paranormal? Well, layman's terms, anything that's not normal.
Yeah.
It's paranormal. I always use the example if you see ET walking down the street and he comes over and asks you for a lighter. That's not normal. That doesn't happen.
That depends on where you live, Matt. Yeah, that depends on where you live, Matt.
You're not wrong. But it's anything that's outside of normality. And that's why I love saying I'm paranormal. I'm not normal. I get insulted when someone calls me normal. It's just like para-unity. It's a way of being. It's you. It's anything that is not considered normal.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I
explain it as paranormal to me is anything that's unexplained.
Yeah.
And so when you use that definition, it's like, man, our field just blows wide open.
Yep. Yep. And good luck explaining me.
Well,
So
that's why you're the consultant, is so you can help explain you.
I'm still working on that. You saw the TikTok. You should see my favorite. Like we were saying backstage, you should see my favorite list. It's just the most random bullshit you'll ever see. All right. So before we go on, take a quick break. Brian has a really hard-hitting question for Michael here, and that is cake or pie?
Okay, so in defense of this, I will say you can't beat a German chocolate cake. However, you can't beat a chocolate pecan pie either. So I gotta say, it depends on the holiday, and it depends on how hungry I am.
Well, I think Brian asked me this one, or he mentioned about it, and I said, to me, it depends on what kind you're talking about. Because there's some pies I'll take over cake, and there's some cake I'll take over pies, given the option. So,
Yeah.
but I'm a fat kid, so.
So the story of this was I was interviewing Brian on the show, and at the end, because we always talk about, like you were saying, everybody asks everybody the same questions. And so I said to him, I have a question I bet you've never been asked. And he goes, yeah, right. And I go, cake or pie? And he goes, what? No, I've never been asked this question.
We were joking about it backstage. I actually asked him what his shoe size was on a live. I think we were live with Emmy McKenzie, PDX Paranormal, and I asked him that. Size 11 actually, well, depending on the shoe. But yeah, all right, folks. So we'll be right back to whatever this is, and we'll talk about Paranormal Versus and the podcast and all that good stuff. So do not go anywhere. Welcome back, everybody. Yeah, it was a long break, wasn't it?
I know. I was like, wait, it's over?
Yeah. We'll have more videos. Don't worry, guys. You know me. Before we continue on with our two awesome guests, I want to give my usual shout outs to, obviously, Parapost Network and Parapost Network Central. Guys, if you haven't already, go check it out. You can go check out Parapost Network Central on Facebook. You can go to your Android or iPhone store. And of course, you know what? I take that back. No.
Only Brian would notice through that entire commercial with all the great music.
I've been playing that for so long.
One word wrong.
But guys, if you haven't already heard of Parapost, welcome to the show, first of all. Secondly, it's basically a paranormal Facebook. No drama. You can network for free. You can sign up for free. You can check it out. You go to parapost.net, Android or iPhone store, it doesn't matter. Sign up today. You will not regret it. And you can find this show and many other amazing shows on Parapost Network Central,
including ours.
Yeah. We'll get there. We're getting there. Spoiler alert.
Nothing unusual.
Yeah, well,
I love it. And yes, you can catch all of their shows as well. And there's a lot of other amazing podcasts, including some that aren't paranormal, that will be starting, which I'm really, really excited about. And it's just over at Parapost Network Central on Facebook. And you can also check out Parapost International. That's over there too. And also our friends and family over at Paralinks. You guys heard it earlier. This is where these two met, was on Paralinks with Big Papa Pun, Stephen Woodard, And your boy Howard Petrie, Chrissy, Courtney, all of them are amazing people, guys. And they have their own group of shows too that are just amazing. Seriously, if you haven't, go check it out. Go check out their other channels, Paralinks 1, 2, 3, and Plus. And obviously, I have to give a shout out because I want to, and I love doing it, to the Global Ghost Hunt. You guys haven't heard about the Global Ghost Hunt yet? You're going to, because it is getting bigger and better. Brian and I are going to be doing a show tonight. Here's a spoiler alert for you. We have some announcements. Does anyone know how Steven is? I heard he's doing pretty good, last I heard.
Yeah, last I heard he was doing all right.
But, guys, the Global Ghost Hunt, if you haven't heard of it, sign up for it. Seriously, it is a celebration of teams and locations from all over the world. And it's a lot of fun. 2 10-day events. This year, it's going to be April 25th to May 5th and October 17th to the 27th. There's going to be a lot of amazing locations, a lot of amazing teams. It's going to be a blast. You guys do not want to miss it. And obviously, go check out Fear Fest as well. I know Howard has spent a lot of time planning the Fear Fest. He's really excited about it. It means a lot to him. And actually, Michael, you were at Fear Fest this past year.
I was.
And how was it?
It was a lot of fun, actually, with everything that was going on. I met some really great people and made some great contacts and did some great networking. And I will say doing the Q&A was a lot of fun with Shannon Michelle Collins. And we just had so much fun just being up there and talking with everybody. And yeah, it was just, I mean, protesters aside, even the protesters were nice about it, though. And it was like, I wish they hadn't, posted online and stuff that wasn't true. But Anthony,
protesters, I didn't hear this. What were the protesting about?
The convention.
So they were protesting that we were promoting fear and devil worshiping because we had Hellraiser in there and kids were going in, and we said we're not promoting either one. And they said, well, then you should have called it Family Fest, was what one lady said. And we said it's Halloween. We were going with the Halloween themes.
Oh, God.
But, I mean, and the thing that actually struck me, though, and this is kind of stuff that I pay attention to, me, Emmy, and a couple others went outside to talk to the protesters and actually hear their side and see what's going on. And Emmy and I were really nice to them. She filmed it, and we would keep saying to them, why don't you come in? We will take you inside, show you what it's about. And they said, no, I don't need to go in to know what it's about. I'm like, yeah, you kind of do, because you're making all these false assumptions, but they would not step foot in the building.
Oh, my God. They're probably worried that you were going to, obviously feed them to a demon or something.
I said this, I think, to Emmy.
Well, that was the after party.
Well, was Scotty around? I wouldn't be surprised.
Yes, he
was. I really wish, and it saddens me that I couldn't be there for Fear Fest, but I really wish I would have been there, especially for that time, because I could have taken my clergy badge with me.
Oh, I have a reverend's license.
It's been just so great. You're a bunch of Satan worshipers. Really? So try that again there, Skippy.
But the moment, I thought the best moment with the protesters was just before we split and they went home because they were tired of standing out there in the heat, was one gentleman said to me, look, in the end, we'll find out either I was wrong and you were right, or you were wrong and I was right. And I said, there's a third option to that. And he looks at me and he goes, there's a third option? I said, yeah. And he goes, what? I go, you or I could be wrong and decide that who was right and go, you were right, and go along with it. And he was like mind blown, I think, at that moment. It was like, okay, yeah, maybe. And I was like, yeah, we're not in a black or white world anymore. There is gray.
Mhm. Well, I mean, it's just like any situation. I've always said there's either side A, there's side B, and then there's the truth.
Yep.
Yeah. And to answer Anthony's point, it wasn't that I was scared to go to the cemetery. It's this was my first speaking engagement where I was featured, like had poster and everything. And Howard took a chance on me, and I didn't want to be tired and be like, walk up on stage and be like, yeah, what's my topic? Be like all disoriented because I'm tired.
Just pull a Joe. Just
So I told Anthony, I said, look, next time I'm going with you. Talk be damned. I'm like, I've done my first one. It went great. Now I'm of the opinion of I can be out till 3 a.m, get up for 9 o'clock talk. No problem. I am not missing out on any adventure.
Well, I will say, the Wicked Queen and I were already talking. We're going to be at this next Fear Fest. We definitely will. We're excited about it. We had a great time, meeting Howard and Jackie, meeting her. Southern hospitality is so different. Like, it was like culture shock, but
oh yeah,
beautiful area, a lot of fun. Like we investigated Voodoo Authentica for the Global Ghost Hunt, and they were so welcoming, so knowledgeable, and and we miss it. We miss meeting everybody and seeing everybody. Well, I do. She's not really a people person. I know she misses Emmy. Did you guys ever hear that? What happened with when she first? Okay, so give you a little backstory on the Wicked Queen. She doesn't people well. Hates meeting new people. Doesn't do people. She will even admit that herself. I'm lucky if I get a hug from this woman. She's that much of an introvert. She doesn't really show emotions. Love her to death. Just in case she's watching. No, she's actually said to me, I don't watch that shit. It's my show. I say, I had a great guest on. You should watch it. No, I don't want to watch that shit. Love you too. But so she loves in her own way. That being said, we went to the USS North Carolina to meet up with Jonathan Myers from Crossover Paranormal Society. I saw he was in the room. Emmy McKenzie, PDX, Patty Adams, Scott Morton from Mr. Fedora, Wasp. Anyway, we get down there. Emmy, big old hug. I give her a big old hug. It was like family reunion type. She walks over to the Wicked Queen with her arms out, hugs her, and my wife gives her a side hug. First time ever meeting her, gives her a side hug. I'm going, I don't even get a hug.
Yeah, but she's married to you.
This is true, but but no, she doesn't do that with people. I mean, it was the first one, and well, she didn't really have much of a choice with Scotty. He kind of jumped in the car.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, Parapost Network. Okay. See how friendly Parapost is, guys.
I was half thinking it was Brian being funny, and now there's a hi Brian comment. I'm like, yeah, Brian wouldn't write hi
It
Brian.
probably is him. It's probably Brian just talking to himself now.
Maybe.
He probably dipped into that maple syrup again.
Yeah.
No, that stuff's not a joke. I will seriously just sit here and just drink a thing of maple syrup. But anyway, that's beside the point.
No, so, I've actually virtually investigated the North Carolina, and that was trippy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we were Mackenzie and I were stuck in quite literally a loop for about 45 minutes. We were down in this area. It's called the torpedo room, and it's the only damage that the ship took. And they train you in the Navy. If you get lost in the bowels of the ship, just go up the ladder well. Just keep going up till you hit the weather deck, the top deck. You will find your way. We went up 9 different ladder wells, and we still ended up back at the torpedo room. For about 45 minutes, we just kept going in a big circle. No idea. Never went down a ladder. Always up. And we ended up right back there for about 45 minutes.
Wow.
I would have to classify that as paranormal because I don't see how that's possible.
Talking to a Navy man, I'm trained to be on these ships, and I'm like, the fuck is going on? It wasn't until we met up with Shasta Myers from Crossover Paranormal, and that's when that was broken. We ended up going back to where we needed to be, and we were following the same path. Something wanted us in that torpedo room. Oh. And I mean, I saw a face. It was a fun night. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right, so switching gear. Oh wait, no. Oh no, it's Pam Harris. Hey Pam.
Hi Pam.
So guys, we were talking about your show earlier, Paranormal Versus, and I know you guys have different shows, but let's just focus on the ones you have together, Paranormal Versus. We all have in these shows the moments that are just hilarious. We've had those guests that are just interesting, we'll just say, put it nicely. What has been your guys' most memorable Paranormal Versus so far?
I would say mine, I had to get Michael to ask the guests all the questions because he couldn't understand a word I was saying.
I remember that one. That was funny.
And feel free to use names, by the way.
No, actually, for me, I think the ones that I think are my all-time favorite, actually, I know this is going to sound kind of maybe arrogant a little bit, but is when it was Kell and I, because we didn't have a ghost or we were premiering the show. And so it's like, we were relaxed and just talking to each other for like an hour and 10 minutes, and we just going back and forth, just sharing stuff. And I feel like, that was us at our most, fun moments of going, yeah, what question are you going to ask me? What question am I going to ask you? I don't know. Where's this going to go? But yeah, and I mean, don't get me wrong. I've enjoyed all of our guests, but it's something about when it's just her and I, or Matt when he's on there, the three of us just talking amongst ourselves. It's like the conversation just goes from paranormal to God knows where, but what's still in the paranormal field.
Definitely ain't normal.
Yeah, we definitely have what we call over here banter when me and Michael get together. It's just like we have wind each other up. It's so funny. And like obviously what Brian says, Kell's faces always make me feel like I'm being judged. Yeah, he says he likes to bust with chops, like people's chops and that, but yeah, he's met his match when he came on our show.
Damn. Okay.
Brian.
I mean, you've seen us on the show, Matt. You were on.
Yep. And I warned you ahead of time, so I'm just going to say that. But, and it's funny because, we do these shows, and this is what again, with that whole networking thing of how it's gotten so much better. When you start talking to people, I mean, look at Kell. Kell's thousands of miles from you and I, Michael. You and I are at least 1,000 miles away.
Right.
And half the time, and I've even told this to people I work with, I feel more connected and closer to you all than I do the people that lived right next door.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's one thing I just love about these shows is the people you meet. And, like I saw Victor was in the room, Victor Santiago from the Don Vic show. He's got nothing to do with the paranormal. Absolutely nothing. Except that he supports us. Him and his co-host IG support us, support our community. And they're just so understanding and loving and accepting that they become family. And you get to know your guests, you get to know your audience. You have your usual people, which I'm surprised I haven't seen Nerdwitch in here yet. But like Raymond, Liz, and Pam, Brian's always in the audience. You get your usual suspects that come in, and even though they're just a comment, you feel connected to these people. And that's what I love about this. And when you get them on the shows, it just takes it that step further. And then when you meet them in person, it's a whole new game-changing level. It's never, and I've said this, it's never just a, hi, how are you? It's a, get your ass over here, I'm giving you a hug. Or unless you're Scotty, it's give me that leg. But
also, though, too, is one thing that I do on my show, and Kel and I do, or we did in the beginning, was when we knew like people from different areas were watching, like we would say, hey, look, there's, so-and-so from Japan or so-and-so from Canada. And the guest would be like, oh my God, really? And we're like, yeah, it's like we are globally, watched.
Yeah.
And I think, the guests, kind of are surprised by that. But at the same time, I think it's more surprising that our guests, or not the guests, but the chat room, when we call them out and say, oh, so-and-so from, and we're like, yes, we remember where you're from.
I think that was one of my, it wasn't really a challenge, but it was one of the things that really hit home for me was picking out where everybody's from and learning about these people, like Anthony from Texas Wraith Hunters, Liz, Best Friends Paranormal, Brian, Hunophobia. You start learning these people. And Jonathan Myers is a big one in this. He's at Crossover Paranormal Society, and he's grown. He's come out of his shell since these shows started happening, and it's great to see that growth. It's great to see people evolve. And Michael, you're 100% right. Like even at work, I tell people about the Global Ghost Hunt or Parapost, and I tell them it's international. Yeah. It's not just here in the U.S. or it's not just isolated here in this state. I'm talking to people from Australia, from Europe, from the U.K., from Canada, from the U.S., from, wherever else. And I said, and that's just people we know about. I mean, there's ones that come from, the Asians. We had a New Zealander pop in on the Global Ghost Hunt. That to me speaks volumes, because what we are doing as hosts of these shows, it's working. It's 100% working. Right. Whether Facebook or YouTube likes it or not, it's working. And that to me speaks volumes.
Yeah. And one thing that's not really known that Kel and I have done with Paranormal Versus is we actually are collaborating with the team in Australia, where they post their stuff in our group. They allow us to post shows in their group. And we haven't met each other yet, but they're like, hey, we appreciate you guys, letting us share this, and, you guys can share your stuff too. And now I'm finding other areas where there are paranormal people out there, and they're like, hey, can we post on your stuff, our stuff on your page? Yeah. Can we post on yours? Yeah. Great. And the word is getting out, and it's spreading, and it's like bringing great awareness to the show and to, Kel and I, and to the teams that, allow us to do that. And I know I feel bad though sometimes when people are like, yeah, you can post all your stuff. And I'm like, you don't know what you're in for, because having 3 shows multiple days a week you're gonna get bombarded sometimes. But bless their hearts, they're like, "Hey, keep sharing," and I'm like, "Okay."
Absolutely. And there's another one for you. Pam saying that
Thank
you
you.
guys are welcome to share. And that's the thing. I really love this community that we're all a part of. I really do. And I'm not just talking about the para posts, the para links. I'm talking everybody in our community that we talk to, we work with, that who supports us. Just the amount of growth is exciting, and it's not just for me the excitement of chatting with my guests. It's who's going to be the new face, who's going to be the new one in the chat. Let's start making connections. And it's great. It's great what this community is really doing. Drama and bullshit aside, I say screw it, ignore it. Let's focus on the positives. Let's stay positive, and let the haters just do their thing. They can go somewhere else.
That's the only thing you can do, to be fair. It's like, obviously, just let the haters get on with the hating. If they want to waste that much energy on, well, let them.
Yeah, you almost have to. And I've said this before. If somebody doesn't like me, don't care. Bye-bye. Go away. Don't like you either. I don't want you here.
Well, and the funny thing is I've always grown up with the expression, "There's no such thing as bad publicity."
Exactly.
So it's like, even if someone's coming after you, it's like, my first reaction is, I must be doing something right if they're coming after me.
Oh,
yeah,
I love trolls. We used to have, a couple of weeks ago, we had like loads of spamming done on my page.
Oh, yeah.
But, and somebody blocked me and everything because of it. Like, it was our fault. So, because it was obviously porn. So they must have thought
I love those.
We were like deliberately putting that up there, but like I say. But since we put up a few posts, we've got a few more followers after that by saying, like, obviously we apologise for all the spamming of porn on the group, and like I say, we've got a few more followers after that. Good publicity.
And it was funny because when I started my YouTube channel, I started getting that, and I was talking to a bunch of YouTubers, and I said, "How do you stop this?" And they laughed at me, and they said, "No, you don't understand. The fact that the bot is coming after you means your show's worth watching."
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, but do I still have to put up with that? Can't I just, find a way not to allow that and still get the recognition?
The block button is strong. And it's funny, and that's what I love about like having moderators in the chats, because they take care of all that. And again, it's supporting everybody, and that's what I love about it. And for those of you who don't know about their shows, welcome to joined a little late, but all the links are in the description for these guys. Please show them some love and support, guys. Seriously, they deserve every ounce of it. But before we go, I'm not going to go into details, but I just want to say, Kell, about your situation. I just want to say, Kell, we love you. We care about you. And if everybody could please send some prayers to Kell and her family today and for a while, because she deserves it. We respect the hell out of you, Kell. And if you need anything, reach out. I know Michael feels the same way. In all seriousness, guys. So please, can we get some hearts and some love in the chat for Kell and her family? All right, guys. So when's the next show? When's the next Paranormal Versus?
Tomorrow?
Actually, it's tomorrow.
And who are you having?
Barry Fitzgerald.
Ooh, that name sounds familiar. What time can they expect the show then, guys?
It'll be 1:30 p.m. Central Time, 7:30 Greenwich Mean Time. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, you got it right.
Hey, look at that.
I was actually thinking about saying, no, that's not it, but I thought, no.
That's an auto response. As soon as you say something, it's like, nah. Oh, wait, no, that is right. Crap.
I know, because I've been known to pronounce things wrong, and it was wow, I actually got one right.
There's been a running joke with Brian and myself. I used Google to figure out time zones for the Global Ghost Hunt. Yeah, Google lied.
Yeah, it does that often.
Yes,
Yeah.
it does.
I got pissed. I was actually pissed. I'm like, no, it fucking says it right here. And we almost got into an argument about it. Oh, well, guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Anything you want to say before we bounce out of here?
No, I just really do appreciate you having us on the show, putting up with it for the last hour. But it's been really nice not to go with edgeways again, Michael. But no.
Not my fault Matt asked me all the questions.
No, like I say, this is what our shows are usually like when me and him get together. So yeah, it's always fun and games. So like, just would appreciate anybody that wants to pop in and like leave a comment or whatever every time we have a show. Would really appreciate that.
Awesome. And you know what, Kel? We'll have to get you on to watch TikTok. Since I had Michael on, we'll get you on.
Yeah,
I'll get some bangers for you.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
And I'll leave with Kel's favorite question that she loves to throw in when I forget it. She's like, and she'll remind me that I forgot it. So Matt, where can people find you?
Hey, wait a minute. This is my show. They should know by now.
I did that once, and she was like messaging me, and she goes, "Where are people supposed to find them?" I was like, "What are you talking about? The links are in the thing. You didn't ask." Oops.
No, I try to put everyone's links in the description, but I think we pretty much hit that. We've hit that nail on the head. Paralinks, Parapost, pretty much everywhere. We're everywhere, and that's was awesome. And I don't know, Kell, if you have one. I just saw Michael does TikTok as well.
I've got two.
You've got two as well?
Yeah, I've got two.
Kell is the reason my TikTok is as successful as it is. This lady has a patience of a saint because she goes up to me and says, "We're going to do lives on TikTok." I don't have a TikTok. Get one. Okay, I have it. She goes, "In 4 days, you'll hit 1,000. This is how you do it." And it took like 3 weeks. And she's like, "I don't understand why you're."
It only took me 4 days to get 1,000, so I don't know what you were doing wrong.
See, I can't put any blame on Michael for that one because one of my former co-hosts told me about TikTok as well, and I just watched it for the TikToks, the videos. I wasn't doing anything on it, and she kept telling me, start posting. So I started, and I'm up to like 1,300, and that took me like maybe a month, and I'm going, who are all these fucking people? What are you watching? I have like 3 videos. What are you freaking watching? But anyway, guys, I really do appreciate both of you coming on, taking some time out, especially Michael, your busy schedule.
Yeah.
But you guys are awesome, and you guys are welcome on the show anytime. You guys are family, and that invitation is always open.
I'd like to just give a thank you to Kell for January taking a chance on me and looking at where we've come from that.
Yeah, it's been a brilliant ride, to be quite honest. It's been quite funny. We've had some really amazing times. So
yeah,
and then
we're even on Spotify
in July, haven't we?
Oh yeah,
yeah, that'll be fun.
So the only last question before we get out of here, because I think Brian would castrate me if I don't ask this. Any intentions on joining Global Ghost Hunt for next year?
Ooh, I don't know. It depends on if I'm investigating.
Yeah, same with me. I mean, I've been investigating. We've had a few locations recently. So if it keeps on going, then yeah, of course. Can't see why not.
There you go. There you go, Brian. I got you.
And also to appease Brian,
uh-oh,
if you have any notion of doing a podcast show, go to Paralinks and Parapost because they will help you to not only start your show, but they will support you with your show, and they give you full control of the show. Just you don't have to worry about anything.
Yep.
They will support you all the way. They have your backs.
Yep. Paranormal or not. Paranormal or not. And it's free. It's free to sign up, and all you gotta do is reach out.
Yeah.
And you could have a show on either one. Doesn't matter. So, all right, guys. Again, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I've had a freaking blast. I love you both to death, and thank you guys in the audience for supporting as you guys always do. I guess there's only one more thing left for me to say. Y'all have yourselves a great rest of your night. Have fun. Stay safe, guys. And as always, happy hauntings.